Welcome to Quick Bytes, a series of brief videos on leveraging the Texas Open and Closed Data Portals. I'm Stacy Lewis, Open Data Portal Administrator. In this video, we will discuss data preparation specifically for datasets. Dataset Publishing, or uploading your dataset to the Open Data Portal, also known as the ODP, is a fairly easy process. It can be done manually through the user interface or programmatically using DataSync or the Publishing API for automation. Of course, during publication, you can customize column data types, transform and format the data, and even create georeferenced columns for mapping. But the most intensive work actually happens much earlier off the platform. Data preparation, which is also known as processing or ingesting, is an essential part of the data lifecycle and in publishing on the ODP. This step ensures that the data is ready to be uploaded and will be easily consumable, understandable, and usable. The Texas Data Portals Resource Guide is available on the ODP, and I do want to call attention to Section 5.2 on data quality. This section provides a list of data quality checkpoints to use when preparing your data. Today we're going to discuss these checkpoints grouped into 6 main categories: publishing raw data, structuring long instead of wide, using appropriate data types and formats, excluding symbols, eliminating blanks and spaces, and considering location data. Let's first start with raw data. Raw data, also referred to as source or primary data, is data that hasn't been processed, formatted, or analyzed. Generally, datasets in their raw format contain the greatest level of detail and are the most valuable for analysis. Your data should be in a machine-readable format. CSV is the most common and the preferred format. The ODP will only upload the first tab of your file, so best practice is to only have one tab in the file so you are certain that the correct information is being uploaded. Your data should have one and only one header row containing your column names. Be sure column names are in plain language and easy to understand for data consumers. Each column name should be unique. Any totals or calculations should be left up to the platform once your data is published. Raw data, instead of calculated columns, makes the data more flexible and consumable in a variety of ways, including visualization on or off the platform. End users may create a visualization that, unknown to them, includes a subtotal or a total row, which is going to affect the accuracy of the visualization. Some features in a dataset may cause publishing challenges, including cell formatting, merge cells, macros, data that spans multiple tabs, and formulas. Ensure your dataset does not contain these functions prior to uploading. Remember that raw data should not be published if it poses a risk of harm. The need to protect individual privacy must be balanced with the goal of maximizing data utility. Data that contains personal information should not be published on the ODP in its raw form, but it may be de-identified before being released as open data. Consult your privacy or legal team if you have questions about this. Let's now move to long versus wide structuring. Wide or horizontal data, although human readable, restricts the ability to create visualizations and makes it difficult to perform analytics and observe time-based trends. Notice that in the wide dataset, each value in the first column is unique. Essentially, this is a pivot table with summarized data. Long or vertical data makes it easier to sort, filter, create visualizations, or use after downloading. Long data orientation is not only machine readable, but also is easier to track changes over time. Let's now talk about appropriate data types and formats, and we'll start with data types. These are assigned by column on the platform via a drop-down. Number, date and time, and text are the most common data types. Whenever possible, use number and date-time data types, not just plain text. Using numbers and dates allows the platform to perform calculations and even build calendars, which can't be done with plain text. Text data types are useful for leading zeros or if there is a mix of letters and numbers in the field. The text format will preserve both those leading zeros and mixed character formatting. This is the reason that zip codes need to be set as text data type. Here's an example of a column that contains leading zeros and a mix of letters and numbers. I'm receiving an error notification when I try to upload to the ODP. This column will need to be formatted as text when publishing to preserve data integrity. Now let's talk about formats, starting with dates. Where possible, you want to use the double-digit month, double-digit day, and 4-digit year format to make historical analysis easier. The platform contains formatting options for each data type, and so date and time columns can be formatted in a variety of ways on the platform during the publication process. Even if I just want to show the month and the year, I can do so through formatting. For zip codes, 5 digits or 9 digits is acceptable. However, consistency within your dataset is critical. 9-digit zip codes can be uploaded either as hyphenated or non-hyphenated. Phone numbers must include an area code. Again, the most important thing is consistency. Whether the phone number is expressed using parentheses or dashes, or even just plain numbers, do not mix the formats within the same column. Numeric data that represents money should either have 2 decimal places or no decimal places. Negative values should be preceded with a dash for a minus sign, not placed within parentheses or another notation. The takeaway here, with all formats, consistency throughout the dataset is key. This next section is specific for numerical data. Exclude symbols such as currency, parentheses, percentage symbols, or commas. You can apply a specific format during the data upload. Any unit of measurement should be specified in the column description on the dataset's primer page. As previously mentioned, negative numbers should be indicated using a dash as the minus sign. Percentages can be expressed as either a proportion out of 1 or 100. So my example here, 50%, can be expressed as the number 50 or 0.5. as long as the representation of percentages is consistent throughout my data set. Commas affect download and manipulation of the data when downloaded as a CSV and are not correctly interpreted in the platform. Remember that all columns, including these numeric columns, can be formatted during the publication process. Let's now move on to blanks and spaces. In preparing data for publication using Excel, it is critical to check for and remove any blank rows or columns. Excel will allow for blank rows and columns at the end of data sets if the pointer is clicked outside the active data and the file is saved. Trailing spaces affect searches and operations which require an exact match, as each space is treated as a character. You can see this in my example here with the word Austin in cell C2. Text fields must be trimmed of all leading or trailing white space. Otherwise, searching, sorting, and filtering on the ODP will not work as expected. You also want to watch out for extra spaces within words. As in my example, Los Angeles, I have 2 spaces in between Los and Angeles, which means my filtering won't work as I expect it to. Finally, let's talk about location formatting. As mentioned in the quick Byte on geolocation, best practice is to leave the address, city, state, and zip code in separate columns. This allows the platform to build a location field that can be geocoded. This is critical if you or your data consumers want to create maps with your data. It also keeps your options open for filtering your data by just one of these fields. So to sum things up, we reviewed how to ensure your data is consumable, understandable, and usable with data preparation. But why is this even important? Properly prepared data plus complete metadata equals a positive experience for your data consumers. I hope these dataset preparation tips have been helpful. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out with questions or suggestions on future quick Byte videos. Thanks so much for watching,